Good afternoon. This is very exciting for me to get everyone together and see, your faces, put them together with the names. I have to tell you, I'm your biggest cheerleader probably, and I can't wait to see these projects get off the ground. I'm really thrilled to be a small part of the incredible work that you're doing. I've gotten so much hope and optimism from reading your proposals, and I am, once again, so thrilled to see everyone here. So we have a couple of things to do today, but the main point of today's meeting is to get to know one another a little bit. So, no pressure. We're here to get to know each other a little. And it's our hope that we can develop this group into a little bit of a cohort as the project period goes on. So, peer-to-peer learning is so important, and we want to make sure that everyone knows what everyone's doing, so that where there are overlaps, we can talk about it. We can help one another have huge amounts of success with this project. So you've probably seen me before or gotten an email from me. If you don't know who I am, I'm Lisa Johnson, the National Sare Food Loss and Waste Grant Program Director. And it's been a thrill for me to help get this program off the ground. But you probably know it wouldn't be possible without a huge group of people that I work with. So I want to just take a couple of minutes to, give you the chance to see some of the faces behind this program that you're now a part of. So if you are from SARE or USDA or NIFA, please take a moment and introduce yourselves. And I want to just say, they're not going to talk a whole lot. They really want to get to know you just as much as I do. So just wanted to give you a moment to see, some of the great folks that are behind this program. Why don't we do a little bit of popcorning among USDA, NIFA, SARE folks. Vance, I'll start with you. Could you just introduce yourself for us?
Sure, thanks, Lisa. So I'm Vance Owens. I'm a national program leader at USDA NIFA, or the National Institute of Food and Agriculture, which is the funding agency for SARE and the agency through which these food loss and waste came. So thanks for your applications and for being here.
Can you pick on someone else, Vance?
Oh, sure. I see Megan is right in the center of my screen, so I will go to Megan O'Reilly.
Good morning, everyone. I am also with NIFA. I'm a program specialist, been with the agency since 2010. And I help a little bit with SARE, and also I have had some involvement with the composting and food loss and waste program that's run by NRCS. So I was really interested to see these projects that are getting ready to get started. So I'm going to be an observer, just looking forward to hearing what you all are talking about. I'll pass to Catherine.
There you go.
Sorry, Catherine.
That's okay. My name is Catherine Bonnert, and I'm also a program specialist at USDA NIFA, and I am assigned to work on SARE, and I am here to observe as well. I'm looking forward to hearing about everyone's projects, and then I will pass it on to Jean Busby.
Hi, I'm Jean Busby. I'm the USDA Food Loss and Waste Liaison, and that's a position created in the 2018 Farm Bill. So I'm 100% food loss and waste. I also want everybody to know that I'm a resource for you. If I can help you out getting information on food loss and waste in any way, please reach out to me. I'll put my email in and our USDA Food Loss and Waste website. And I popcorn over to Sarah, who works closely with me. Thank you.
Thanks, Jean. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Beller, and I'm a food loss and waste policy analyst. So like Jean said, I'm 100% on food loss and waste. And I'm so excited about all of your projects. So we are here as a resource, as Jean said, so please feel free to reach out. And I think I'm going to pop over to Jeff.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeff Jordan. I'm the director of the Southern SARE program at the University of Georgia. We are the entity through which NIFA's money came through, and as you probably saw when you applied, the Southern SARE office will be handling the paperwork for your grant. So all of the work or all of the invoices, all of you do, or the contracts and all, will be coming through our office. You'll probably hear from Sandra Blackwell over time. She's our grants administrator. But welcome to our family. Welcome to our program. We look forward to working with you over the next few years, and good luck with your projects. Lisa, I'll just let you start picking people, and I think we'll go through.
How about Dara?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Dara Manifa Cooper, a little under the weather today, so I'll be in the background just here for technical and moral support. I'm Southern SARE's communication specialist.
Thank you so much. Did we miss any folks that are working on the project? I can only see a partial group here. I think we might have gotten everybody. Oh, great. Jean has put her contact information, Jean and Sarah, into the chat. So hang on to that if you have any sort of national scope questions for food loss and waste. They are an incredible resource. And Sarah, great. Okay, so I've been emailing you a whole lot of things lately. I just wanted to flag a couple of things. One thing that I sent you is an onboarding guide. This is a grant through SARE, and so as such, there's, it's our own policies and practices that you're going to be dealing with. So if you would read through that guide, it'll really help you to get acquainted with how we do things at SARE, what you'll need to submit, what forms are needed for what. We're not going to get too far into the technical details today, but I do encourage you to let me know if you have any questions, and feel free to reach out anytime at all. I've already gotten one question about some things related, so feel free to reach out to me anytime at all. One thing that I have also sent out lately has been the comments from the technical reviewers on your proposals. So I hope that's been a help to you. You may not have had time to review them. And I still owe those to 3 people, Catherine, Sarah, and Dawn. So I'm going to get those to you today, but the reviewer comments are there for you to go through. There's also a request and a link to sign up for a meeting with me. I'm a little bit new to Calendly, but I sent out a Calendly link. There's plenty of time available for me to meet with you. If you don't find a time that works for you, just reach out to me and we will find a time that works for both of us. No worries at all. I have plenty of time. I'm here to work with you, so let's do it. Please sign up for a one-on-one meeting with me, and we will talk about your reviewer comments. We'll talk about any concerns you might have, any concerns that I might have, with your project. And going forward, we want you to have the greatest success with your work. So I'm here to support you, so keep that in mind. Many of you have already sent me project-related photos, which is super helpful. We're putting together some short, succinct project profiles for our SARE website. And so those photos are going to help us just shine a light on the awesome work that you're doing. As we go forward, we'll get into, deeper reports and things like that that'll also be in the public eye. And since we are going to have a couple of announcements coming out in October about the group of y'all, we will make sure and let you know when those are coming out, if they need to be reviewed by anyone or checked off by anyone. We will certainly be sure to do that. So there will probably be announcements from USDA, from NIFA, and from SARE. So expect to see your project in the limelight quite a bit. We're all really, really excited about this program. So at this time, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, your organization, and your project. It's just casual, just let us know who you are, what you're up to, and what your project aims to do. Just, briefly, maybe even where you're located. That's fun. Is there something like, you can also add, if you like, just for fun, your favorite kitchen sink dish. Maybe you don't know what I mean, but the kind of dish that you can use anything in, right? Anything you have. Mine is probably some type of quiche or maybe like shepherd's pie. So I like to start meals by chopping everything I have and just putting it in there. Anyway, so it's time for you to introduce yourselves, and I'm hopeful that we can popcorn around again. So I'm going to call on someone, and I want you to call on the next person, and we're all going to get to know each other. Sound good? Anybody have a thumbs up for me? Yay! Oh, good. You're all awake. Okay, I am going to start with Saima. Am I saying that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, great.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to meet you all. I'm really happy and excited for this opportunity. I start with thanking the reviewers and USDA SARE. And my full name is Saima Hasneen, and I am an assistant professor in the Department of Food Science and Human Nutrition in the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. And I just recently started my position last year, so this is extra exciting for me being the PI of this project, and this is my first ever grant writing as a PI after completing my PhD. So extra special. I will put my blood and sweat into getting succeeded in this project. So looking forward to it. And I'm located in Champaign in Illinois. And my project is it's very interesting. I originally work with the pediatric population, early childhood age group, preschoolers, and what I look at is their diet quality, the environment, nutrition environment in the early care and education settings. So this particular project looks at the childcare centers and the amount of food and milk specifically getting wasted in the childcare centers. So there is a federal nutrition program. This is called the Child and Adult Care Food Program, the CSCFP. So the CSCFP requires the participating childcare providers to serve milk at breakfast and lunch. That's mandatory. And they also encourage the providers to serve milk at the afternoon snack time. So I'm trying to look at if we can make a little bit change that the providers can serve water during the lunch and then serve milk at breakfast and afternoon snack, and see if that reduces or have any effect on the children's milk consumption plus the milk waste. And I am going to be developing a toolkit for the childcare providers that will help them to reduce food waste in the childcare centers while also not pressuring the children to finish their foods off of their plate. So that's in a nutshell is about my project, and any dish that I can use, anything. I really like having a little bit of leftover chicken. It goes in noodles, fried rice, any kind of vegetables. I can just put it in there and make a stir fry. So that's certainly I like to have. Thanks so much for listening.
Saima, can you call on someone else?
Let's see. Sean Peterson.
Yeah, thanks. Pleasure to be with you all today. My name is Sean Peterson. I am the founding member at the Association of Gleaning Organizations. I'm also joined by Kathy Sharp. She runs all our programs, our program coordinator here. And we are a national network that works to build the capacity of folks doing on-farm gleaning or backyard gleaning. So we're really focused on food recovery in the aspect of it came directly from a plant or directly from someone who got it from a plant. So our members will do, farmers market food recovery. They will be out in the fields and do post-harvest gleans or gleans of fields that weren't scheduled for harvest. And then a subset of our members also do urban gleaning, whether it's in fruit trees in backyards or community gardens or food bank farms, that kind of stuff. And then most of our member organizations also do some other sort of food recovery, much similar to probably many of you on this call. So they may be doing grocery store or restaurant recovery or semi-truck recovery, whatever that might look like. But we as ourselves are a national organization who just focuses on building that capacity. So we don't do any direct field cleaning. And with this project, we're really interested in utilizing our membership base. So we have, there's about 280 gleaning organizations in the US. About 120 or 30 of those interact with us every year in some sort of capacity. And so we are using that membership base to do in-field measurements. One of the real struggles for our members is realizing how bad the data is on amounts of food that goes to waste in fields. You know, it affects our ability to sort of think about what the national scale of the cleaning movement is, how it can fit into, you know, overall efforts to reduce food waste, all that kind of stuff. So we are going to be doing data collection across the country on small, medium-sized, large-sized farms, backyards, and aggregating that data to tell a better picture of what's happening in food waste across the country. So, you know, in addition to that, we're going to create some resources and some other stuff as well. But the real heart of this project is helping gleaners and the public understand the scale of food loss on farms and food waste in yards, and then you know, helping them use that information to, you know, come up with better solutions to the problems. So yeah, that's me. I'll go to Dawn. They're right next to me. So Dawn, it's yours.
Okay, there we go. Unmuted. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dawn Brewer, and I'm just so excited to be part of this group and to meet all of you and just to learn more about projects and just how to better serve my community. So I'm from the University of Kentucky. I'm an associate professor. My research team, we bring expertise in nutrition, food loss, waste, and repurposing food that would otherwise be wasted, and then making meals and then providing that to nonprofit organizations, food insecure populations. And then we also have expertise in local food systems and connecting farmers with different food outlets. So the purpose of my project, my background, I really enjoy working with communities and doing community-based participatory research. So for this project, I identified multiple partners in one county because we have a good model here at University of Kentucky. We have the campus kitchen model. Like I said, they are bringing in food that would otherwise be wasted, and they have a good system of getting it out. So the idea of our grant is to take that expertise and then move it into a neighboring county, which has similar, you know, cultural practices in that county. And I identified several different community programs that I think other counties throughout Kentucky and throughout the U.S. would have. Like, for example, substance use recovery programs, food pantries. I think with my other partners, there's a foster home. And it's just, they're just common feeding models. And the idea is we're connecting them with a statewide gleaning organization, and we're attaching nutrition to it. Because as I was talking to people, they are thrilled to have the opportunity to get, you know, fresh produce to their people. And also if they have nutrition education needs, we're trying to fill those. And they're so excited that this project has been funded. So I thank you so much on, you know, for my research team and for our community team. So is that good? Oh, my kitchen sink dish. I would say, you know, I was thinking about it, what I had last night for dinner, just some nachos. Because it's so simple, my kids will eat it. I can fit in, you know, the major food groups, so I can stack on as many vegetables as I want or not. So it's very versatile and very fast. And like I said, kids will eat it. So It's my go-to. All right. So I'll go ahead and pick somebody else, and I'll go with Nancy Beta, if I'm saying that right. Okay.
Thank you. That was a very good guess. Thanks. Hi, I'm Nancy Beta. I'm the Executive Director of Food Cycle, and we're a food recovery nonprofit located in Los Angeles, California. We have been focusing for the past 10 years on incorporating the environmental impact into the food recovery work that we do, and work and collaborating, building out networks to better use recovered food. We have incorporated technology. We use a fleet of electric vehicles with solar powered refrigeration in the vehicles. We have a solar powered walk-in refrigerator container that's standalone, and we use an app in order to create better logistics matching so that this food is going to organizations that need it the most. Our project is focusing on an opportunity here in California. We have a new law, not so new now, but a law, SB 1383, which requires businesses to donate rather than discard edible food. So that law began being enforced last year, and we have identified that there are still gaps in compliance around that law. For instance, working with one city, we found that the first time we went into one grocery store that had a contract with the Feeding America Network, they were throwing out like 500 pounds of meat a day because that food wasn't being collected by their assigned partner. So this project is focused on identifying those gaps and getting that food that we know is slipping through the cracks and sending it to the food deserts of Los Angeles. Specifically, we have been developing partnerships in areas that we identified as being the most food insecure in the city. And these neighborhoods lack access even to grocery stores in a lot of cases. There is very limited access to fresh produce and the kinds of food that we provide. So we're building on some networks and partnerships that we have been creating and are excited to expand the program. Last year, we recovered around 8 million pounds of food that was through these programs. So, and my favorite, I'm kind of with you, Lisa, on the quiche thing with just throwing in the bits that I have, but I'm also a big believer in throwing everything into the freezer and making soup with the leftovers. Thank you. So I'm going to go to one of my colleagues. I'm going to just go, well, she's listed as me, but Carolyn, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm not Nancy Beta. So my name is Carolyn McEwen, and I do all the accounting and financial work for Food Cycle. So I work very closely with Nancy. And so I'm on the call because I'll probably be doing a lot of the day-to-day invoicing and dealing with the grant administration of this grant. And so I work remotely in New York. And I did not have a background in nonprofit. I'm retired. And so it's been a wonderful learning experience for me. And I also have a great personal interest in reducing food waste and in climate change. So it's great to be able to participate in Food Cycle, albeit remotely, and really interesting to learn about your grant program. And thank you for having us be a part of it. And I'm going to popcorn. I have not heard this expression before, to Catherine Kennedy, just because your name makes you sound very important. And I'm sure you are. Oh, and my favorite dish is salad. Every other day, I chop everything I can into a huge container and put a lid on it and eat half one day and half the next. And you'd be surprised the things I'll chop up and put in my salad. And that's what I enjoy.
Thank you. I'm Catherine Kennedy. I'm the executive director of Concrete Jungle. We're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. So excited to see so many bulldogs on this call and work with more UGA folks. We started as an urban gleaning organization in Atlanta, but we now actually have an office in Athens, and we do a lot of work in South Georgia, which is part of what this grant is focusing on. There is just an amazing amount of food going to waste on farms. So we started by picking everything ourselves, but obviously it's tricky to wrangle volunteers to pick the millions of pounds of food that's going to waste. So since the pandemic, we have been working with farmers to purchase their second, so things that they've harvested but they're not able to sell to their traditional retail markets because it doesn't look like what people want to see at the grocery store. So there's a lot of food that's going to waste on farms, and we are really prioritizing putting money back into the pockets of farmers, which is what we've been doing over the past 4 years. And we're really excited to be able to continue to do that with SARE. We also have a hunch that we're only collecting less than 10% of the produce that's going to waste on farms in South Georgia. So we're really hoping to increase that number through this grant, some of which will go to training farmers about what is actually acceptable for us to use. All of the produce that we're purchasing is going straight to soup kitchens and food pantries, which and a lot of those are based in Atlanta, because Atlanta's a huge city and the need is most concentrated here in the city. So while some of the food will stay in South Georgia, a lot will come to Atlanta, and it's a really desperate need here right now. The food bank in Atlanta just does not have food. We're getting more and more calls every day from people saying we can't find any food anywhere else. So the timing of this grant could not be better for us. We're really feeling a lot of pressure. And then the other aspect of this grant, in addition to training farmers and purchasing produce, is training eaters. So none of our produce goes out without a recipe card, because some of our produce just looks funky. It looks like you're not used to seeing. So we do recipe cards, cooking classes, and taste tests at the soup kitchens and food pantries. So the idea is we're building up a larger farmer network to be purchasing food from, but we're also building up a more informed and excited consumer base at the soup kitchens and food pantries. So that's what we're up to. I'm really excited to be a part of this cohort with all of y'all. And we are members of AGO, the Association of Gleaning Organizations, Sean's organization. So it's exciting to have some collaborative work between us. And my kitchen sink item is stir fry. It's just so easy, and soy sauce makes everything taste good. So I am going to popcorn to Nicole.
You got it right the first time, Nicole. Well done. Most people say Nicole. Hi, everyone. Thanks for having us in. I am the Food Recovery Program Manager at Pete's Garden in downtown Kansas City. We are an urban gleaning group, but we focus not on direct gleaning from farms, but capturing prepared food from restaurants. My background personally is in sustainable agriculture, so I'm very excited to hear about all your different projects that you're working on. Pete's Garden was founded about 5 years ago, right when COVID hit. So our food recovery operations very much stalled, and we developed a side project called Kids Feeding Kids, which this grant does support as well. That is focused on, we have an educational director, a retired chef, who she teaches family and consumer science teachers and culinary arts teachers a curriculum in sustainable food systems. And then we will supplement their budgets to go out and buy healthy food and then donate that locally in their community. I run our food recovery program, which we go and do the same thing we teach these students to do. And we build relationships with restaurants and caterers all across Kansas City and beyond, as far as our driver can get in one day. Our main purpose of this project is to validate some of the national data on food waste. We pull a lot from ReFed as the organization, just on industry food waste statistics. And right now they estimate that in Kansas City, over 1 million pounds of prepared food, so not counting food that goes to waste in the fields, 1 million pounds goes to waste. So we are looking to validate that number, partnering with several different soup kitchens and more traditional gleaning organizations across Kansas City. One of our goals is we want to approach that 10% figure that California, Connecticut, and Massachusetts and New York have been able to see, because right now we only capture less than 0.5% of that prepared food within Kansas City. So a lot of this is just looking to figure out how much prepared food is in the food sector is still edible and is not going to compost when it could be going to our families. We have a big mission on increasing family mealtime because repeated studies show that for mental health, for nutritious health, sharing a meal together increases consumption of macronutrients. And so we distribute meals in a family style take-home container, and we partner with social services agencies so that not only do they get a meal, but that meal is a part of a larger tuition support or employment support or transitional housing so that it can help somebody really get back on their feet and help set them up for success in the long term. Throughout this 3-year period, we are looking to double the amount of food donations we receive. Just on Monday, we packaged 2,500 pounds of food and distributed that across Kansas City. So we are in a really exciting period of growth. This is only my 6th week on the job here, so I am still learning a lot about the nuances of our gig, and I am very excited to work with all of you and develop this cohort that Lisa, you talked about. My favorite kitchen soup or kitchen sink meal is just a pasta dish, and I'll just throw in some vinegar and some this and that and whatever I have on hand, and I usually like how it turns out. I will popcorn to Jake DuPont.
Hey folks, my name is Ryan Martens. I am the livestock director at Stone Barn Center, located out of Southern New York, about 30 minutes from New York City. I'm here with other members from the Stone Barns organization, collection of scientists, farmers, chefs. We are a nonprofit agricultural center that really focuses on providing innovative solutions to bolster the regional agricultural community. And so a few facts that have driven the project that we're working on with you all is that the majority of arable land in the United States goes towards growing feedstuffs for animals, primarily cattle, hogs, chickens, in the form of corn and soybeans. In addition to this, a large portion of our food is wasted every day. And in addition to this, omnivores make great gleaners. So chickens, sheep, not sheep, chickens, hogs, these animals are great at really taking excess food waste and converting it into high value proteins. So it's interesting to hear most of y'all's projects are around gleaning for human consumption, which is amazing and extremely important. And I would imagine that a large portion of that food that you guys are looking at is also not fit for human consumption. And so when we can take that, feed that to an omnivore, provide a high value protein to a family, to a community, and then also offset all of this arable land that's going into feedstuffs for animals, we can really start to utilize that agricultural land for more productive purposes for human feed, and really close the cycles in our community. And this project is really meant to build a framework for regional farmers, for small scale farmers who are both struggling economically and trying to find innovative ways to make their farms tick. And this provides a solution for them to start to glean food from the community, give that to their animals, supplement their feed costs, and provide good products to their customers. And so I will pass it on to Julie Schiffman.
Hi, everybody. I'm the co-founder of Last Mile Food Rescue in Greater Cincinnati. And I'm here with my team member, Ellen, and we'll have Ellen describe our project.
Awesome. Thanks, Julie. So, like many of you here, we're super excited to be part of this SARE cohort. It's our first federal grant. So, we're like pumped to be part of this call and learn about everybody's projects. And Julie and I are just messaging, like, this is so exciting, such great stuff happening. So, as Julie mentioned, we both work for Last Mile Food Rescue, which is a small food rescue in Cincinnati, Ohio. We're coming up on our fourth birthday. We're just under 4 years old. And to date, we've rescued a little over 10 million pounds from the Cincinnati area. And the way that we do our food rescue is we use technology, primarily an app where we power volunteers to rescue excess food that we've identified through food donors and then deliver it to our agency partners, getting into the hands of people who need it. So our SARE project has two different components. The first is in collaboration with our regional climate group, Green Umbrella, as well as our Hamilton County resource. And we're going to work with them to do like broad education through 2 food waste summits where we're really assembling a large group of people together to talk through best practices and really share knowledge and build up a network in our region. In addition to the 2 big summits, we're also going to do some short form trainings as well, potentially webinars that can tap into like some smaller groups and cover some of these same topics. As a result of these big training activities, we're going to put together, all of our shared learnings into some resources that we'll share among the group of participants, but also more broadly and widely so that this information is available to anyone who's sort of working in the food waste, food related industries. The second piece of our SARE grant focuses on the training and education for our food donors. We found that one of our biggest challenges in recruiting food donors is there's a lot of misconceptions and like fears around doing food donation. And when we go into a meeting with a food donor, there's like 10 reasons why they can't do food donations, all of which we can kind of dispel through conversation. But that conversation can take a really long time. Sometimes they do need some additional supports to really walk through like how this will work in your particular industry, in your particular facility. And so part 2 of what we're doing in the grant is really developing some toolkits and having an additional staff person who can take that time to develop educational materials and trainings to help dispel some of those myths and make food donation, especially weekly food donation, that's what we like to see, a really easy process for our donors, something that as we talk to them, we might only need 1 or 2 pitch meetings instead of like the 10 that we go through now. So that is where we're hoping to go with our grant and really move the needle on food waste. And finishing with my favorite kitchen sink item, I love just like a dirty rice. So just taking your rice base and then whatever you have left over, it's kind of the stir fry idea, throwing it in there, adding some sauces, and usually it turns out pretty good. So I'm gonna popcorn it over to, let's see, is it Leisha Zagar?
Hi, sorry about that technical difficulties. I'm Leisha Zigar, and I am with Gotham Food Pantry, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm very excited to be involved in this. And I'm going to actually popcorn our what the project we're working on to my colleague Douglas Silver.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for having us here. It's an incredible honor to be included in this cohort. My name is Doug Silver. I am the founder and executive director of Gotham Food Pantry. Gotham Food Pantry establishes food rescue operations in areas of high need in New York City, and our focus is New York City public housing complexes. If New York City public housing were a city, it would be the 34th largest city in the United States, with over 500,000 residents. It would also be the most food insecure city in the United States. So I founded Gotham during the beginning of COVID, and basically we work and partner with 10 associations to rescue excess food from retailers in the community and working with other NGOs and to bring that food to the tenants who need it. And we do distributions for tenants and neighbors. So we have pantries most days in various locations throughout the 5 boroughs. This grant is going to allow us to expand on that model, which we've had a lot of success with. So we're very thankful for that. And along with that, we're putting together educational materials and curriculum so we can do food waste, food rescue education, and sustainability education in New York City public schools and private schools, probably gearing toward high school students just to get the word out. There's so much more curiosity around this. And we are ending up, because we work with tenant associations, we're working with a lot of teachers anyway who are involved, who live in the public housing complexes. So there's been this request for a while. And it's then getting that partnership in there and expanding. And also then this will allow us to work with a lot more food retailers and to start those conversations. One that Ellen referred to that can take 10 meetings when you really just think it should just take one because there's no liability but we're going to have to say it like 50 times. So I'm really excited. I think that there's great potential, and I'm really thankful to just be part of this. So here's the thing. I was going to make up a dish that I make, but the joke about me is I rescue millions of pounds of food per year, and I can't cook at all. So I just wanted to be honest early on. But the dirty rice is good. When my partner is cooking, I love a dirty rice. Who has not gone yet? Marie Lisa Sabat. Hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, thanks, Douglas. Yeah, hi, my name is Maria Elisa Sabat. I'm part of a nonprofit in Caguas, Puerto Rico called El Departamento de la Comida, or the Department of Food. Our mission is food sovereignty, and right now our organization has a food hub where we have a commercial kitchen. We serve lunches weekly to the community. We also have what we call an agroteca, or agricultural library, where we rent out tools. We have seeds, plants, we have a nursery, walk-in cooler, and a lot of components that you could define as a food hub. So our project with food waste with Sare is working on what we're already doing, because we have agreements with some markets and farmers where we receive food, especially food that would otherwise be wasted, and we process them in our kitchen to create value-added products. So I think we can divide it in 3 segments. The first segment is overlooking our own SOPs and see how can we diminish food waste within our own food hub. Our second component would be partnering up with different small food projects and farmers so that we can evaluate their own SOPs and see how we can diminish the food waste. So this would be the creation of educational materials, coordinating and doing events where we talk about and educate about these subjects. And then the third component that we have is actually mapping and assets and vulnerabilities mappings that we wish to have updated in our website, where we can pinpoint areas in our community where we are most vulnerable and where there is the most food waste. And then the assets part of it would be also showing not only our food projects, but also our community, where they can go, or where they can also leave food so that it won't turn into waste. So yeah, my role in the organization is I'm the operations manager, and kitchen sink, I think that's a concept that I'm not familiar with, but from the examples that people have given, I think the stir fry would be my go-to. Stir fry, or maybe like there's a cultural food here in PR called sancocho, which is just like this huge stew where you throw everything in, including meat, vegetables, tubers. So yeah, thank you. So I'm going to popcorn to Teresa Beckhusen.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Happy to be here with all of you. I'm Teresa J. Beckhusen. I use she, her pronouns. I'm at the Good Acre in St. Paul, Minnesota. Like I said, really glad to be here with all of you, hearing about these amazing projects. So yeah, like Joe, I am also really new to my job. I'm about 6 or 7 weeks in, so learning a lot, digging into everything. And yeah, so the Good Acre, we are Minnesota's largest food hub. We're all about unlocking economic opportunities for farmers in our region, especially those who have historically been excluded from making a viable living. And we do that through a really unique combination of personalized support and market access. So our SARE project will use a multi-prong approach to reducing food waste, and that deepens and builds kind of on our existing work. So this includes wholesale specific technical assistance for our produce farm partners, as well as buyer education and support that's intended to increase customer flexibility and establish a seconds market. So Catherine, when you were describing your project, I'm like, oh, I think there's a lot of similarities here because there's just like a lot of education that we need to do, like for eaters, for shoppers, that, hey, this tomato might like look a little funny, but it's still perfectly safe and edible and delicious. So I'm just going to read off the objectives for our project. We're going to establish a baseline of excess food produced by our farm partners that have annual contracts with us. We want to decrease that volume of excess food being grown by at least 10%. We'll also develop an additional outlets for those seconds with a goal of 200,000 in annual second sales. And we want to provide that wholesale buyer education and support, and also kind of expand our definition of firsts when it comes to produce as well. And in addition to this, we're going to create a really image-heavy guide for our farm partners that illustrates differences between firsts and seconds. We have a great grower support team that goes out every year throughout the year, visiting our farm partners on their farms just to answer questions, take soil samples, do all kinds of things just to support the farmers and their stated goals. And this will be a part of it. Our farm partners have talked about wanting more information about wholesale standards, product quality. So this is in response to that feedback that we've gotten. Yeah, thank you again. And my kitchen sink dish is probably yeah, an omelet or some kind of hash with eggs, or like a pasta or grain salad. Yeah, I will popcorn over to Michael Crossley.
Hey everyone, so good to be here. Amazing to hear about all your projects. I'm an assistant professor and agricultural entomologist at University of Delaware. I'm joined by Destiny Mann, a grad student in my lab. I'll let her speak after. So our project is really focused on demonstrating a process and then getting the word out and making it as accessible as possible to a broad audience. So the process that we're wanting to demonstrate involves upcycling food waste with the help of some insects, particularly black soldier flies, whose larvae are very capable of converting a great variety of organic waste streams into insect protein, and also frass, the leftovers of decomposition, which can be used as soil amendment in your garden or your farm. So we're going to demonstrate this just outside our building here using campus food waste and local brewery waste, and invite a whole bunch of groups to visit and participate in that process. Then we're also going to be developing a smartphone app that will help a variety of users learn the process and then track the different amounts and types of food waste that they upcycle using this approach wherever they are, whether it be in a individual, family, or organization. My family has kept, in the last 2 years, about 500 pounds of food waste in our own backyard food systems, which after hearing a lot of you, it sounds like a very tiny number, but I'm also embarrassed. It sounds like a very big number for one family. So we're in this tension. We're excited to see this approach multiply and expand and contribute one of the many solutions to this food waste problem. All right, thanks y'all. And Destiny, I wanna give you a chance to say something.
Hi, everyone. Like, honestly, such an honor to just hear all of you guys talk about these ideas. I feel like you're all so far in your careers. And yeah, I'm Destiny, and I'm a grad student in the agricultural entomology lab at UD under Dr. Mike Crossley. And I will be doing a lot of the legwork. So I'm going to be managing the insects. I'll be performing some experiments, trying to show a lot of the benefits that black soldier flies can have in breaking down food waste quicker, more effective, and in a way that is really good to apply to crops. And I will also take part in communicating those results to urban farmers in Delaware and hopefully some of the elementary schools that are around here as well. So yeah, that's me. And my stir fry is absolutely my go-to, especially if you do it a Mongolian style, use a little bit of honey instead of brown sugar. Oh, chef's kiss. But I'll admit it is also my partner that makes it. I am not the cook in my household. Yeah.
And Destiny, actually, I forgot my kitchen sink thing. So our family's been experimenting with going out into the garden, and instead of seeing things as pests, seeing them as food. So we got a stockpile of Japanese beetles in the freezer, and we bring them out once in a while and candy them like you'd candy pecans or pecans, however you say it. So exploring with eating insects. But yeah, I don't know. Destiny, did you want to pick the next person?
Oh gosh, I've been so bad with names. I've been watching Vance. Has Vance gone?
Vance has gone. See, yep, he already went. We're down to the last handful of people here. Do you want me to call on someone?
I would appreciate that.
Okay, I'll give it a go here. I am going to call on John Jones. I've seen you nodding. Let's hear what you're working on.
Hi, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Okay, yeah, sometimes I have mic issues with my setup here. So I'm John Jones. I'm an assistant professor in the Center for Environmental Studies at Virginia Commonwealth University, which is in downtown Richmond, Virginia. And during the we're an urban public institution. We have about 30,000 students. And some folks on my research team have documented that about 35% of our student population deals with food insecurity on some level. So about 10,000 of our students deal with some level of hunger or food insecurity. And so during the pandemic, I decided to start trying to do something about that. So I was inspired by the Little Free Pantry movement, which is inspired by the Little Neighborhood Library movement, which is having decentralized, anonymous pantry boxes where people can obtain dry goods foods that, like a neighborhood or somebody in a residential neighborhood may just put out in a box. I decided to bring that to our campus. So I was able to do that, and we have 12 different little pantries strewn around our campus. And I work with some engineering colleagues to build a sensor system. And I'm happy to turn over my technology to anybody that is interested in getting it. But we have the ability to count, get timestamp data when people are opening and closing our boxes. So we have some proxy variables about how much people are using our dry goods pantries. And I was able to leverage that research, and I published this, I can send it to folks if they're interested, but I was able to leverage that research to start pressuring our administration to start caring more about food insecurity on campus. So because of that, I just as of last week brought a community fridge now to our campus for the first time, and we're going to start trying to stock produce and refrigerated goods in there. And then in addition to that, I've convinced the head of dining services that they need to care about food insecurity amongst our student population more. And so because of that, they've committed to working to pivot our all-you-can-eat cafeteria to try to start mitigating food waste within the cafeteria. So more engineers are going to be building a scanner system to try to start tracking how much food waste is being thrown away so that our kitchen can cook less, but there's still going to be food that's going to be diverted. And so any food that can't be served is then going to be channeled into our on-campus fridge network, which is also going to have sensors and cameras installed so we can be trying to track usage on that. And then over time, we're then going to start branching out to sending more food to within the greater Richmond region. There is a community fridge network they have 14 community fridges around the region. I'm also in the midst of installing sensors in those fridges as well, but we're going to start sending more and more food from our all-you-can-eat cafeteria to these community fridges, and then also to some older adult living facilities. So think like elder care living facilities that we're also going to bring some community fridges into. And so, yeah, that's the very basics. There's a lot of technological components to what I'm building, so I'm happy to turn those over to anybody that's potentially interested in trying to replicate aspects of what we're doing. And on behalf of my research team and I, we're very, very excited to be here. Thanks so much for having us. Stir fry is my favorite dish. And did Kathy Sharp go?
Kathy went. Nope.
Kathy went. Okay, then I think
Did you
am
talk,
I the last
Kathy?
person then?
You might be. Kathy, did you
I think
talk?
I am.
Sean introduced me. I'm the program coordinator with the Association of Gleaning Organizations. So nice to see you again, Lisa. And In addition to our data collection, we are also going to be doing some education at our annual symposium. So thank you, Lisa, for being a presenter, and also you, Catherine, for presenting last year. So just quickly, my go-to dish would be stuffed peppers.
Ooh. Wow. Okay, did we hear from Julie Jones and Lauren Beatty? Julie, can we hear from you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Jones. I'm actually an administrator with Food Cycle, and I work closely with Nancy Beta and Carolyn, who you've already heard from today. So they've already explained our project, but I am super excited to be a part of all of this. And thank you very much.
And I am going to be the program coordinator working under Dr. Dawn Brewer at UK. And I'm brand new to all of this, but I'm super excited to be part of it. And I don't know what the question was, but my answer is always spaghetti. So it's always spaghetti.
Wow. Well, you all have given me some great ideas for dinner tonight, which I needed because I never have any clue what to make for dinner, but somehow it always gets made. I think we're finished with our introductions. Is this not an amazing group of people? I mean, you know, I saw you reacting to other people's projects. They are a group of amazing projects. Hopefully you saw that they span the whole supply chain from farm all the way to consumer in many different types of touch points. And hopefully you heard from people all around the country, which was one of our major aims. We have a lot of nonprofit organizations represented here, as well as a handful of universities. So hopefully you noticed that we're all on the same team. We're all pulling in the same direction. And that's exactly what we want you to feel like. I will be your first point of contact whenever you need something. Unless it's deeply financial, then you should probably talk to Sandra Blackwell because I may not have the answer. But you know, feel free to reach out to me anytime. My job is to support you. So I will be holding your hand over the next 3 years. First, we'll have a one-on-one meeting. And then as we get rolling on, I want to have like almost a lunch and learn series where we can grow up together, make sure we're becoming food loss and waste leaders really at a national level. The work that y'all are doing it's hoped that it can be replicated around the country, and you may very well find yourself in a position to show others in other communities how to do the same thing that you've done. So I want you to know all the ins and outs of food loss and waste, you know, even if it's not part of your exact purview. So we will, good question. I saw that. Let me say that we are going to get to know each other closely, but you know, I don't want to bug you, but I am really interested in your work. And I will be doing some kind of site visits as well, probably not in 2024. So, you know, once the projects get rolling, we'll talk about doing some site visits. I am really excited about seeing where y'all work and seeing what you do and helping to highlight that work and really lift it up nationally. There was a question from Saima in the chat. Let me see if I can find it. Feel free to hop off if there's something that you need to go and do. If you want to stick around, you can. If you have questions, you can stick around. That's fine. I want to just say a big thank you again to all the folks at Sare and USDA and NIFA who have helped get this project where it is. And an amazing big thank you to everyone that joined today. I loved hearing about your work. So the question from Saima was, would you like us to invite our co-PIs to the initial meetings? Sure, bring whoever you feel is going to benefit. We're going to talk about your reviewer comments, any questions you may have or concerns you may have. You know, it's just going to be me, so you can bring up whatever you want. And I'm going to go through your project as well and, just flag anything that I have questions about. So yeah, bring whoever you want that works with you. I'm happy to have anybody join. A couple new messages here. Oh, thanks everyone. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Dara Manifa, for keeping us organized. And if there was somebody that needs the recording of this meeting, I will share it as a private link. It's not going to be shared publicly. So reach out anytime. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks, Lisa.
Bye.
See everybody.
Have a good day. Bye.
I have a technical question, so I'm going to stay on.
Great. Hi.
Hi.
So
Why?
stop the recording.
You can stop the recording. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And you may not know this, Lisa, because it sounds like you're not the numbers person, but
Maybe not.
thank goodness we have some really, really good organized numbers people on our team.